They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my in front of all my people at my agents.
What's going down with the industry, dog?
The industry is full of a bunch of sucking, riding, bending over the desk, nigga, straight up.
I realized that, you know what? This is God's country because I met the devil here. Because if I hadn't met the devil here, I wouldn't realize I was strong enough to overcome the obstacles that the devil would place in my path.
DMX tried to warn us. DMX was speaking out against the industry a long time ago. Check this out.
Just the wrong one in the industry and you will get hurt. I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry. So I do what the I want because nobody can finish me.
That's a piece.
The industry wanted, dead or alive, new artists to sell their souls in the way they survive. The industry don't give a about you, but the industry could make a dime without you.
So it looks like DMX had been dropping hints about Diddy for years, but barely anybody was listening, except for one person who caught on early, Katt Williams. See, Katt's not new to this game. He got hit with the same treatment, blackballed, locked up, called crazy, just because he wouldn't bow down or stay quiet. And just like DMX, Katt's been speaking up about how dirty the industry really gets behind those flashy lights. If you don't play by their twisted rules, they come for you. Hard.
I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, there's 3 other black guys on there. Woo. Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get there.
I told him no. What y'all do?
they got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play they
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executives' dicks, and it's like.
Now here's where it gets wild. Katt's not just hinting anymore, he's straight up saying it. DMX wasn't just battling addiction, he was battling a system that wanted to break him. And in DMX's eyes, Diddy wasn't just another artist, he was a player for the other team. But the real question is, what did DMX see that made him turn his back on everything? What moment made him realize that Diddy might be working for the ones pulling the strings behind closed doors? Let's break this down because this rabbit hole goes deep.
Like, damn. I'm bad, you know,
And this isn't the only thing that DMX talked about. He also talked about how there were people in the industry that basically wanted to take you out to dinner and stuff to get a hold of your music. And you cannot tell me that DMX was not talking about Diddy, because the first thing that I thought of is when 50 Cent said that Diddy asked to take him shopping.
Now that Diddy's finally getting dragged into the spotlight for stuff way darker than anybody ever expected, the ones who tried to warn us are finally getting their due. Whistleblowers that used to be clowned, silenced, or called crazy are now being vindicated loud and clear, and right there at the front, Katt Williams and DMX. For years, these two were out here spilling raw truth about the industry. They exposed the dark games, shady puppet masters, exploitation, creepy rituals, and straight-up foul play going on behind the scenes. But back then, nobody wanted to hear a word. Folks brushed them off like they were paranoid or wilding off something. People called Katt bitter. They said DMX was just ranting while high. The media clowned them both, acting like they were out of touch or mentally gone. But look now, every word they spoke is starting to hit different. It's not just talk anymore, it's receipts.
Subject, you gonna touch on this, or just like you just going at him?
About him being a homo, you know he be too, right?
No.
Yeah, nigga that was styling his clothes. I got the inside information, man. Nigga that was styling his clothes for one of them shows, got him ecstasy on one night and f***ed him.
No, dog.
Yeah, Ja Rule, niggas, I'm telling you, dog. Oh my mama. Told me that himself. He said, yeah, I was with Ja, you know what I'm saying? And you know, he was all ecstasy up, so he.
What?
Whoa.
What?
Shit is crazy. Yeah, man. That shit, they walk around with a bag of them pills, man. Talk about me, you can't be serious. That X is everything. Get it? The X is everything. Hi, me.
Yo, this is a big statement you making here, man. You throw it.
Yeah, man, Ja Rule's nigga, straight up. He's
This is.
out there that wants to give your man Ja Rule some X, and he'll f*** you.
Both X and Katt were labeled problems because they refused to stay in line. They wouldn't sell out, wouldn't join the club, and definitely wouldn't keep their mouths shut. And now that the curtains are getting pulled back, especially on Diddy, it's clear. They weren't rambling, they were revealing. And get this, a resurfaced interview just popped up where DMX straight up said that Diddy was our wording, his artist. Now, some people think X was talking about money, like how Diddy finessed his own artists out of what they earned. But others, they're saying DMX was hinting at something way deeper. It's starting to look like DMX meant every single word he said. No metaphors, no exaggeration. With all these disturbing allegations now surfacing about Diddy allegedly forcing himself on people in his circle, DMX's old interviews are hitting way harder than before.
You got issues with the industry. What's going down with the industry, dog?
The industry is full of a bunch of sucking, riding, bending over the desk, nigga, straight up like that. Whoever don't like it, bring it. Bring it. I don't give a bring it. Bring it. They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play their shit.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executive. It's like there's too much of that going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now they want you all up under this, you know, sitting at the going to dinner with them and like that, and you know, all that favor for a favor shit. I don't get down like that. Look, I'll give you the music, you give my money.
And here's where it gets real shady. DMX once revealed that Diddy originally passed on signing him to Bad Boy. Why? Diddy didn't think X was marketable enough. But the second he found out Def Jam was offering DMX a serious bag, suddenly Diddy flipped the script. According to Vibe magazine, Diddy went into full desperation mode, allegedly saying, "I'll lace your pockets, I'll double what they gave you." That's wild. But even with the money talk, DMX still walked away. Why? Because he had a bad feeling, real bad.
Industry, man, it's not the same. Doesn't have to do with talent, it's about playing the game. The industry, real is dying to get in. The industry, just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that. But I'm going to dress like this and talk with the back. The industry, got your word meaning nothing. The industry, what you heard because he's bluffing. The industry, money, hate, but I dare you to try to take a thing off my plate if you ain't got a strong mind. The industry will break you down, it's a matter of time. The industry, vultures with nothing to feast on. See me, I'm getting my beast on. The industry, stay in the dirt, play in the dirt, test the wrong one in the industry and you will get hurt. I'm not an industry artist, I'm an artist in the industry. Industry, wanted, dead or alive, new artists to sell their souls in the way they survive. The industry don't give a about you, but the industry couldn't make a dime without you.
Word is, X had already heard whispers about what was really happening behind the scenes at Bad Boy Records. Now, yeah, maybe when DMX used that word, the R word, he was talking about financial stuff like Diddy ripping off Biggie and other artists. That's one way to look at it. But with everything that's being exposed now, people are starting to believe he meant exactly what he said. No coded language at all.
The cops, allegedly found some.
Yeah, they always find. I never leave without
my girlfriend. I'm on the middle of an interview, sir.
Sorry about. Look, they found drugs now. That's what it was reported.
Sir, you can look at my paperwork. There was no. Weed is not a.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that's safe for kids to be around guns and stuff like that? I mean, I'm just curious.
How do you keep this kid safe without? They were in a lockbox that the police broke.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean,
saying if the police come in and raid my place and break into my gun boxes, you're gonna find guns. But these aren't. Well, I'm not in a gang. What difference does it make?
Now, you were actually stopped for this and let go because you have a license for it.
No,
right?
This is their 9th time coming to my house. The problem was this time they came to my office and took my kids from an office, not from my house, from an office. So now when I can't have my kids at my office,
that's an issue.
I must be the
definitely.
most terrible black dude. Because here's the whole thing. You gonna charge me with child endangerment? After I adopted 7 children and had them for 14 years in this state? Really? You coming after my kids now? Cause it was already a witch hunt. Now you want my babies? Yikes.
Finish up, man. Do you have any resolutions or something you might do different next year?
Yeah, I'm gonna be white next time.
Straight up.
In my next life, I'm Caucasian and I ain't taking no for an answer. Now, let me explain something to you. I know it's people doing poorly in this country.
Yeah.
And they shot Trayvon Martin dead for looking kind of like I look.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X ended up dead for telling the truth. So as a comedian, I don't think it won't happen to me. I think they've thrown me in jail 36 times in 36 months, and I think you've never seen me in a court of law. That means they're effing with me. And today, they crossed the line, because now they took my babies.
All right, man. Well,
Yep.
Katt, we wish you luck, man.
And luck is unnecessary. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you, brother.
DMX even hinted that certain rappers in Diddy's inner circle were doing anything to get signed. Anything, even if that meant compromising themselves in ways nobody wants to talk about. One name that DMX didn't hold back on, Jaw Rule. The beef between X and Jaw ran deep, and at one point DMX even claimed he knew Jaw was getting down with his male stylist. Yeah, he said it straight up, but that wasn't the only shot X took. Around that same time, he started calling out a whole list of rappers who were cozying up to label execs and doing some real shady stuff, just to get spins on the radio or secure deals. He wasn't afraid to say it. Some folks were straight up playing the game in ways that had nothing to do with talent. And how could we forget DMX's legendary track, The Industry? That joint was a full-on expose. X aired it all out. How fake the game was, how the labels moved, and how artists were being used while pretending everything was fine. That track hit back then, but in 2025, it hits even harder now. It's straight up crazy how stuff he was yelling about 20 years ago is unfolding right in front of us today. He warned us about artists selling out, doing whatever it took for a shot at fame, even if it meant compromising their whole identity. And now, we're seeing it all go down in real time. But just like Katt Williams, the media came for X hard. Non-stop smear campaigns. They painted him as violent, unstable, addicted. Every negative headline you could think of. And even when he passed in April 2021, they couldn't let him rest in peace. The New York Times ran with that cold headline, DMX, top-selling but troubled rapper, dies at 50.
I saw where you and Suge got arrested, right? You and Suge got arrested, is that true?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Like, and
What were we doing?
allegedly it had something to do with like some type of photography, a camera or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm just sure. I'm just saying this is what I read.
I'll tell you the story, and you tell
Tell
me
me the story.
then does that change how you frame this?
Okay.
So, we have a meeting with a hologram company, which is going to go into a licensing deal on some holograms. This is in Beverly Hills. So now there's a rodeo, and behind that is an alleyway where you park your vehicles. That's where we are. Suge has brought his son with him who's 5 years old. And before we go into this meeting, Suge's son runs behind the dumpster and urinates. And a lady films his penis out, peeing behind the dumpster. And then says, oh, I thought that was Katt's kid. So yeah, that's what happened.
See, man, this is
So
what
understand, we were facing 20 years, Suge and I. 20 years for that. And if it wasn't for the fact that this is Beverly Hills and it's all on camera, they had no problem sending us up the river when we couldn't have possibly done what was being said. That lady said that she got jumped on by me.
Now don't get it twisted. DMX definitely had his share of legal run-ins. We're talking substance charges, weapons possession, reckless driving, probation violations, the whole nine. But here's what really stands out. Not once was DMX ever accused of anything involving minors or predatory behavior. No weird stories, no shady rumors, nothing like that ever came out about X. And that right there, that puts him in a whole different category compared to a lot of big names in the rap game. Meanwhile, dudes like Diddy and some of the other so-called moguls in his circle got rumors flying all over the place. Stuff that's way darker. Yet somehow they stayed winning awards, building billion-dollar brands, and getting called legends and black excellence while sweeping all that dirt under the rug.
Since I've done it so much, since it's such a major
What
part.
about today?
Please shut the up, man.
No,
I'm talking about. No, listen, man. Listen, man. I'm not going for this.
You don't get. I was talking to Xavier.
Damn, y'all, for real.
I was talking to Xavier. I'm not intimidated by you.
You gotta be intimidated, man. Stop running your mouth.
What about?
I'm not.
DMX, he got torn apart by the media. Every slip-up was broadcast like a circus act. But Diddy, he was protected by the same machine he helped build. And that's not just some double standard, that's strategy. That's how the system moves. They destroy the ones who speak truth, and they protect the ones who help keep the secrets buried. DMX wasn't having it. He refused to be a puppet, and just like Katt Williams, he paid the price. Katt's been through it too. Celebrated one day, arrested the next. Even after blowing up, they never left him alone. One of his first high-profile busts, back in 2009, in a Walmart parking lot in Georgia. When the cops rolled up on Katt Williams that day, They took some of his guns, but here's the wild part. They never charged him with anything. Later on, Katt straight up called the whole thing what it was, a witch hunt. He said he wasn't bothering nobody, just chilling, when out of nowhere, a group of armed men pulled up and surrounded him. He told Vibe, one of them had a holster, a pocket full of bullets, and a pistol. That's when Katt tried to de-escalate, telling them, let's step outside. But the second he stepped out, boom, 6 dudes surrounding him, 1 man deep. And next thing you know, they're calling the sheriff, saying Katt had weapons and was the problem. This is a witch hunt, he said. It's getting to the point where I feel like I'm being persecuted. This don't even make sense. And honestly, it really didn't. But that wasn't even the worst of it.
Take a look at some of the lyrics from your song.
How about I pick the lyrics?
Who We Be. I think you'll like these lyrics. The hurt, the pain, the dirt, the rain, the jerk, the fame, the work, the game.
I like what you said. Yeah. Did it.
The friends, the foes, the bins, the hoes, these studios, the shows. Why don't you just read it? I like the way
shows, it comes and it goes. The jealousy, the envy, the phony, the friendly, the one that gave him the slugs, the one that put him in me, the snakes, the grass, too long to see. The lawnmower sitting right next to the tree. It's right there, just mow that grass and you'll see the snakes.
Yeah.
That Georgia situation was just the start. After that, it was like somebody had pressed a button. Katt started getting arrested again and again, back to back. Every few months, his name would be back in the headlines for some random incident. But the real heat came in December 2012. That's when police claimed Katt was putting his kids in danger. Said they found guns and weed at his house. It made headlines everywhere. But guess what? Those charges got dropped. Katt Williams didn't bite his tongue. He said the whole thing was a setup, another trap to bring him down and silence him. But it didn't stop there.
We've had, I guess I would call it a gospel song, or certainly
gospel song and a conversation with the Lord on every album.
On every album. Lord, give me a sign. I pulled some of those lyrics out. Tell me what these lyrics are and what they mean.
It's a conversation with the Lord. I really need to talk to you, Lord. It's the last time we talked. The walk has been hard. Now, I know you haven't left me, but I feel like I'm alone. I'm a big boy now, but I'm still not grown. I'm still going through it, pain and the hurt, soaking up trouble like rain in the dirt. And I know only I can stop the pain with just a mention of my Savior's name. In the name of Jesus, devil, I rebuke you for what I go through and trying to make me do what I used to, but all that stops right here. As long as the Lord's in my life, I will have no fear. I will know no pain from the light to the dark. I will know no shame, spit it right from the heart, because it's right from the start that you held me down and ain't nothing they can tell me now. Lord, give me a sign.
In 2014, Katt got arrested again, this time with Suga Knight, for allegedly snatching a paparazzi's camera. The media went wild, making it seem like they just ran up and attacked some innocent cameraman for no reason. But according to Katt, that's not what went down. He later revealed the real reason they stepped in. The paparazzi was trying to film Suga Knight's 5-year-old son, and Katt wasn't having it. He wasn't about to let some stranger snap shots of a little kid just to sell headlines. But instead of reporting that truth, the press twisted it. While Suge was getting booked left and right, the tabloids were out here clowning Katt, calling him a troubled comedian, an addict, unstable. The same tired script they ran on DMX, same tricks, same character assassination.
You've had a song on every album, a conversation with God.
Yes.
You've had
and a prayer.
And I think you've had
three conversations with the devil.
With the devil. Why with the devil?
Well, to make a fair decision, I think you have to be aware of both sides. And I was approached, so of course I had a conversation. It doesn't mean I rode with him or believed him. I just was able to recognize him by what he said to me and what he offered me. I said, oh, now I know who you are. That's why I stopped talking to him. I've put out 7 albums, but he's only on 3.
And speaking of X, things got even darker. He didn't just talk about the industry, he talked about evil, real evil. In his music, he often mentioned fighting demons, and on the Dr. Phil show, DMX said the devil came to him. Not once, but 3 times, can you imagine? One of his most talked about moments was when he appeared with his son on Iyanla, Fix My Life on Oprah's own network, but that episode, it was a mess. Iyanla kept interrupting, talking over him, pushing buttons, being all condescending, like she wasn't there to help, but to break him down on national TV. After that wild interview with Iyanla, DMX said straight up he felt tricked. He thought he was gonna have a real convo, maybe even some healing. But instead, it turned into a setup to put his pain on blast, and even though he'd already been super open about his struggles with addiction, they tried to dig deeper just to make a spectacle out of him. People told him, don't go on another talk show. But DMX, he did it anyway. He pulled up on Dr. Phil ready to speak his truth. During that sit-down, Dr. Phil started reading some of DMX's lyrics out loud, including a track that dives into the highs and lows of fame. One line stood out, "Mow the grass to see the snakes." That bar right there, it hit hard. DMX was saying, clear the fake ones out so you can see who's really plotting against you.
I first came to Arizona, man, and I remember one day coming from the studio at 6 o'clock in the morning and pulling over on the highway. Be like 4 cars, you know, just to watch the sunrise. And it was at that point that I fell in love with Arizona. I said, you know what, this has to be God's country. You know, because I've never seen anything as beautiful as that sunrise. Then I met the devil in God's country. You know, and it's not so much who, it's what, you know, what happens and the things that the devil does. It's not so much a person, even though he acts through people. You know, you can't call one person the devil.
Joe or Pia?
You know, you can't call any one person the devil. You can't do that because no one person has enough power to be the devil. You know, and you know, it's through all these hardships that I realized that, you know what, this is God's country because I met the devil here. Because if I hadn't met the devil here, I wouldn't realize I was strong enough to overcome the obstacles that the devil would place in my path. And it's by overcoming these obstacles that I realized that this is God's country. Because he helped me get over these obstacles. He helped me get over these hurdles.
Okay, so but when you're done here,
yeah,
you're out of here.
I'm not looking back.
You're not coming back?
No, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back for a show. I'm not coming back for a visit. I'm not even driving through the states. If I'm in a plane and they gotta fly over it, I'm gonna go around.
Then the convo shifted to DMX's spiritual side. Dr. Phil brought up Lord Give Me a Sign, one of X's most powerful songs. DMX didn't just talk about it. He spit the lyrics on the spot with that raw emotion only he had. He said every album he dropped had at least one prayer or a conversation with God, like a lifeline between him and the Most High. But things took a chilling turn when Dr. Phil brought up DMX's claim of 3 encounters with the devil. And X didn't hold back. He said he knew it was the devil each time, not just by the presence, but by what was being offered. This wasn't the first time DMX spoke on some deep, dark energy. Way back in 2009, during a jailhouse interview, he dropped a chilling statement. He said he believed the devil lives in Arizona, for real. He told the reporter he used to love the sunrises out there, but everything changed after what he described as a direct encounter with evil. He didn't say any names, didn't point fingers, but he made one thing clear. He was never going back to Arizona. Whatever went down out there, it left a permanent scar. Ever since, folks have been trying to decode what exactly he meant. Some believe DMX wasn't just talking spiritual, he was speaking on the industry's hidden side. Arizona's got a quiet rep, but behind closed doors, it's known for hosting secretive retreats, hush-hush industry meetups, high-end rehabs, and all kinds of off-the-grid events. It's not hard to imagine X crossing paths with label execs, lawyers, handlers, or even other artists who gave him real bad vibes.
People are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? What? Is to act like it didn't happen. They're black dude. Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side.
And for a man like DMX, who saw life as a constant battle between light and darkness, that kind of interaction could definitely feel like coming face to face with the devil. Who knows what he was offered? Maybe it was a fat contract, a power move, or some behind-the-scenes deal, but only if he bent the knee and gave up a piece of his soul. And knowing X, he wasn't ever gonna fold like that. It fits the bigger story he always told about an industry that didn't just want his talent, it wanted to own him. But one thing's for sure, DMX resisted. He never sold out, never bowed down, no matter how dark it got. And that lines up perfectly with what Katt Williams said during that viral Club Shay interview. There comes a time when you gotta choose a side. You either roll with God's side or you fall in line with the other one. So when DMX talked about meeting the devil in Arizona, that might have been more than just words. Maybe it was a spiritual battle, maybe it was code for some powerful figure in the game, or maybe it was a real moment where something life-changing and deeply dark went down. Whatever it was, it clearly shook him to the core. And just like so many things X said in his music and interviews, folks didn't catch the truth until years later. But now we want to know what you think. Was DMX dropping hints about something much bigger? Was that devil in Arizona a metaphor? Or was he calling out something real, hiding in plain sight? And do you see the patterns? The way DMX and Katt Williams got treated for speaking out? Drop your thoughts and theories down in the comments. We're watching all of it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if this made you think different. and hit that next video, because what we're about to expose next, it's even deeper. See you there.